Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're diving deep into something that almost everyone experiences in relationships at some point, the silent treatment. You know what I'm talking about, that icy wall that goes up, that sudden freeze out that leaves you wondering what in the Sam Hill just happened. It's a common tactic, but let me tell you, common doesn't mean it's healthy, and it certainly doesn't mean it's effective in building a strong love and partnership. In fact, it's usually doing the exact opposite, chipping away at the trust and intimacy you've worked to build. Maybe your partner shuts down, walks away, or gives you days of silence. 1 minute you're talking, the next you're getting the sound of crickets, and not the so peaceful kind. It's painful, confusing, and can leave you feeling rejected, invisible, like you're talking to a brick wall. You start second guessing yourself, wondering what you did, what you said, or if you even matter. Let me be clear. That feeling of rejection is real and it's damaging. It's a tough spot to be in, and it can make you want to scream, cry, or just give up. But hold on, because we're not about giving up here. There is a way to understand it, navigate through it, and come out stronger as a couple. That's what we're going to unpack today. We're not just going to talk about how bad it feels. We're going to talk about what you can do about it, how you handle it when your partner goes quiet. How do you break that cycle without losing your own mind? And more importantly, how do you turn this dysfunctional pattern into an opportunity for real growth and deeper connection? It's not about magic wands, folks. It's about practical strategies and a willingness to do the work. So lean in, because class is in session. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. Your partner has just pulled the old disappearing act, emotionally speaking. They've clammed up, turned their back, or maybe even stormed out, and now the silence is deafening. Your first instinct is probably to react, right? To chase after them, to demand an explanation, to raise your voice, to maybe even start throwing a few verbal jabs of your own. You're hurt, you're angry, you're frustrated, and you want them to know it. But is it the smart reaction? Is it gonna get you what you really want, which is connection and resolution? I'm gonna tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, the answer is a resounding no. When you meet their silence with your own emotional explosion, you're essentially pouring gasoline on a fire. Think about it. What's the payoff for them being silent? Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's to get a reaction, to feel powerful, to control the situation, or maybe they're just so overwhelmed they don't know what else to do. If you come unglued, you might be playing right into their hand, or you might be making an already overwhelmed person retreat even further into their shell. You end up escalating the conflict, not de-escalating it, and then you're both miserable, and the original problem is still sitting there, buried under a fresh pile of drama. That ain't progress, folks. So what's the first, most crucial step when that wall of silence goes up? You got to regulate your own emotions. Before you say a word, before you make a move, you need to get a handle on yourself. Pause, just stop, take a deep breath, then take another one. I know it's tough when your heart is pounding and your mind is racing, but you have to find that inner calm. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about managing your response. You can feel angry, hurt, or confused on the inside, but you don't have to let those feelings dictate destructive actions on the outside. One of the best things you can do in that moment is to disengage temporarily, but in a healthy way. Go for a walk. Seriously, get your body moving. Physical activity is a fantastic way to burn off some of that adrenaline and nervous energy. Let the rhythm of your steps help you clear your head. Or, if walking's not your thing, find something else that grounds you. Okay, so you managed to keep your cool. You didn't yell, you didn't throw things, you didn't give them the silent treatment right back. You took some space, you breathed, maybe you wrote down your frustrations. Pat yourself on the back for that, because that's a huge first step. Now, the silence is still hanging in the air, or maybe some time has passed and things have cooled down a bit. The big question is, how do you re-engage? How do you try to open up a line of communication without reigniting the whole mess? This is where a lot of folks stumble. Your natural inclination might be to go in with a list of grievances or to demand answers. Why do you always do this? What is your problem? Don't you care how I feel? Let me tell you, accusatory language, loaded questions, and an aggressive tone are like throwing a match into a fireworks factory. All you're gonna get is a bigger explosion, or they'll retreat even further into that silent shell. You gotta approach this with a different mindset, a different strategy. You need to approach with curiosity, not accusation. Think of yourself as a gentle investigator, not a prosecutor. Your goal is to understand, not to win. So when the time feels right, and that means when both of you are hopefully a little calmer, not in the heat of the moment, you can try to open the door. The brief mentioned a fantastic phrase, and it truly is gold. And I noticed you got quiet earlier. Can you help me understand what was going on for you? Let's break that down, because there's a lot of wisdom packed into those simple words. I noticed you got quiet earlier. That's an observation. It's factual. You're not saying you were being a jerk or you were ignoring me. You're stating a behavior you observed. This is much less likely to put someone on the defensive. It's a soft entry. Then the crucial part, can you help me understand what was going on for you? This is an invitation. It shows you're interested in their perspective, their internal world. All right, so you've approached with curiosity. You've used that golden phrase, and miracle of miracles, your partner starts to talk. Maybe they say something like, I just needed some space, or I was overwhelmed, or I didn't know what to say. Now what? Your instinct might be to jump in with your side of the story, or to point out how their need for space may feel. Hold your horses. There's a crucial step you need to take first, and that's validation. You got to let them know you've heard them. Validation doesn't mean you agree with their behavior, especially if their way of getting space was to give you the silent treatment for 3 days. It doesn't mean you're saying it was okay. Validation simply means you acknowledge that feelings, experience, perception is real. It's about saying, I hear you. I understand that from your point of view, this is what was happening. This is incredibly powerful, because people need to feel heard before they can truly hear anyone else. So how do you do it? You reflect back what they said in your own words to show you were listening. If they say, I was just so angry, I had to walk away, you might respond with, okay, so you were feeling really angry and it felt like walking away was the only thing you could do in that moment to handle it. Or if they say, I just shut down when I feel criticized, you could say, so when you perceive criticism, your go-to response is to shut down, because that feels safer for you. You're like a mirror showing them you see their reality. Notice there's no but in there yet. Don't say, I get that you needed space, but you shouldn't have. That but negates everything that came before it. It's like saying, I hear you, but I don't really care. Here's what think. You got to let that validation sink in first. Let them feel that little bit of relief that comes from someone actually understanding, or at least trying to understand their internal state. This builds a little bridge of connection and makes them more receptive to what you have to say next. Once you've genuinely validated their experience, it's your turn to share yours. All right, so you've navigated the treacherous waters of the immediate silent treatment episode. You've stayed calm, you've approached with curiosity, you've validated their feelings, and you've shared your own. That's fantastic. But if you stop there, you're likely going to find yourselves in the same boat next month or next week, or heck, maybe even tomorrow. To truly master the silent treatment, you need to move from being reactive to being proactive. You need a game plan for future conflicts, because let's be honest, conflicts are a part of any real relationship. The core issue with the silent treatment, beyond the silence itself, is often the it creates. When someone just shuts down or walks off without a word, it feels like a rejection, a punishment, an abandonment. The person on the receiving end is left in a void, wondering what happened, if the person is coming back, if the relationship is in jeopardy. That's a terrible feeling. It's that feeling that does so much damage. So a big part of your game plan has to address this. This is where you sit down together. And I mean sit down when things are calm, when you're both feeling connected, not in the middle of another argument, and you talk about how to handle these moments better. They happen. You say something like, okay, we both know that sometimes things get heated, or one of us gets overwhelmed and needs space. How can we manage that in a way that respects both of our needs? How can we avoid the painful silent treatment pattern? This is where you co-create a signal, a pre-agreed upon phrase or gesture that means, I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need to take a break to cool down, but I'm not abandoning you or this conversation forever. I will be back. This is so incredibly important. It's like a relational safety valve. It allows the person who needs space to take it, but it reassures the other person that they're not being punished or iced out indefinitely. It takes the guesswork and a lot of the hurt out of the equation. What kind of signal? It can be super simple. So there you have it, the silent treatment. It's a tough one, no doubt about it. It can make you feel like you're lost in a fog, disconnected from the person you care about most. But I want you to hear me on this. Remember, silence doesn't mean the end. It's often a cry for peace, not punishment. And with the right approach, you can turn those quiet moments into breakthroughs. It's about understanding the why behind the silence, both in your partner and in yourself, and then choosing strategies that build bridges, not walls. It takes guts, it takes patience, but you absolutely can change this dynamic. What we talked about today isn't just about getting your partner to talk. It's about fundamentally shifting how you both handle conflict and emotional overwhelm. You're not just learning to survive the hard moments, you're learning to love better, you're growing. And every time you choose understanding over blame, your relationship gets stronger. Every time you opt for that calm conversation instead of a shouting match or a freeze out, you're laying down another brick in the foundation of a resilient, respectful partnership. It's how you create a relationship that doesn't just last, but actually thrives even when things get tough. If this video helped you, share it with someone you love. Let's normalize healthy communication, one relationship at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. What strategies have worked for you? What are you struggling with? This is a community and we learn from each other. You're not alone in this. Remember, getting real about your relationship is the first step to making it real good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to pay attention. You might learn something.